Welcome to Full Scope, a podcast designed to analyze the games that we love, headlines of music, and the movies we can't forget. I'm your host, Winter Burns, and my counterpart, Savon Morris. How's it going, man?
It's going pretty good, man. Got a W last Sunday, man.
I was about to say, I knew you were happy.
Definitely happy.
Era, the
Definitely
Jordan Love era.
happy.
Well, we have a lot of topics to get into for this one. Obviously, college football playoff discussion, some NFL topics, album reviews, and in the second half, we're going to do a review of ATL. To start off with, obviously, thoughts on Florida State being left out of the playoff and Alabama getting in. The top four selected for the college football playoff were Michigan, Washington, Texas, and Alabama. And there was an immediate uproar because many people were wondering. We've talked about Florida State going undefeated, winning the
Yeah.
ACC championship, but not looking like that same explosive lethal unit that we were used to seeing with Jordan Travis, and things just
Right.
kind of waned later on. And it's interesting to me because there's the debate of, hey, is it about who's most deserving or who's the best?
Right.
Alabama, they look like the better team with beating Georgia. Florida
For
State
sure.
looks
Yeah.
hampered. To me, the committee got it right because we do want to
Yes.
see a good product. We don't want to see, like Stephen A was saying, a TCU Georgia 63 to 7 type of game, and that kind of be the ending of it. Not saying it was going to be that extensive, but it possibly could have. What did you
Right.
think about this decision? And also, just the outcome of it.
So this is obviously the topic of discussion. Obviously, we know what it is and what it isn't. But I said they could have made the argument that defense wins championships, correct? Their defense is top notch. You have guys who can get off the football. Disruptive. The secondary holds its own. But on the flip side of that coin, if they go against a team like Washington, who puts up heavy points and their defense gets tired at some point because they're on the field constantly, I don't think the offense would have been sustainable enough to beat a Washington, to beat a Michigan or Alabama team without
Right.
Jordan Travis. And if you look at the rules of the NFL, not NFL, but the college football committee, one of those is if a player gets hurt or something, it's in the rules that can be a standard of
Kirk
why a
Herbstreit.
team.
Kirk Herbstreit
Yes,
mentioned that multiple times. Like, that is in the
yes,
rule book.
that is. It's not because they weren't good. It's because Jordan Travis kept them in so many ball games. When their defense plays sloppy, it was Jordan Travis extending plays, Jordan Travis, Jordan Travis, Jordan Travis. You don't
Yeah.
have that. Even Hodemaker or whatever his name was out for that game, and another backup quarterback had to play, and they looked terrible. They failed
Yeah.
to move the ball countless times. The defense bailed them out in certain situations. So I understand what people are saying. They're undefeated. They were the ACC championship. But in the rule book, it states that if a team's top player, which is Jordan Travis, gets hurt, even the pass game was different. Even when against Florida, even against Louisville. So I think it would have been different. I think the defense would have got gas because Washington runs a no huddle offense a lot and they're proficient in it.
Yes.
Alabama can do that too. Michigan is the same way. So after a while, that defense is going to
It's
be
gonna
on your
wear on
foot
you.
for a long time. Yeah, and Washington has long drives. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, Washington runs long drives. They can take it off to the top, but they like to slow grind, fast pace, get the defense tired. You can't sub. That defensive line is going to get tired, and that secondary is going to get tired. And the Michigan. So it was the right decision. We agree, and we talked about this on the
Oh yeah.
last week's podcast and through text message.
And
Like
even through text, you were like,
Florida State,
you were even telling me like, man, I don't know if Florida State's gonna get in because it's
no,
like everything changed when Georgia lost.
yes,
Everything changed.
yes,
Like, if Georgia wins that, it's a different. But like, man, like Alabama winning it. Like, I also want to get to what did you think about that game, because we've mentioned all year like Alabama didn't look like the same team, but Jalen Milroe has like really extensively progressed
yes,
these last few weeks.
yes.
He's like a completely different quarterback.
It's because they're starting to build that confidence in the play calling. So they were trying, and we talked about this too. They were trying to make him a pocket quarterback. They have this thing where they want their quarterback to be pocket passers.
Yeah,
They
traditional.
don't traditional. You are good when you can have a person who can extend the plays one, who can do RPO two, and who can get outside the pocket and run when you don't have anybody open. And
Right.
then you want to have a quarterback who has a a huge arm with accuracy with the deep ball, and Jalen Milroe has that, and he has progressed. And I think him progressing each week and having that confidence, and them giving him an extended playbook that allows him to be a runner as well. And that
Yeah.
offensive line has improved from week 1 through 6. They
Yes.
were everybody. They're the biggest offensive line, terrible feet, terrible uh, technique, but now they're coming to own. They're running the ball more, and Milroe is getting confident with the deep ball threat and him being able to run as well as
Yeah.
pass. But I think, and I know I'm ahead of myself, I think that's his inaccuracy with short and intermediate routes is going to get him in trouble
Against
against
Michigan.
Michigan.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be the Achilles heels, because you're not going to run the football heavy on Michigan.
Oh no. Not at all.
Now, if they do a lot of RPO and a lot of option run, then possibility they'll do a quarterback spot, which I think they have the guys who can step with Jalen Milroe. But I think it's inaccuracy, and they're not going to allow him to take the top off with these deep ball threats. But I think the intermediate and in short routes is going to kick, because he has that wheel route. You can tell he was hesitant.
Yes, very, very
Because he
hesitant.
had that throw early in the game, and he didn't even look over there. And this time he looked over there. I'm pretty sure they tell him on top, hey, you got somebody in the flats, check down. And you can tell he was like, oh my goodness. And it was a perfect ball. So I think that's going to be a hindrance as a young quarterback and a guy in a big moment where they're going to take away elements of his game, and he's going to have to really throw the ball. So it's going to be an interesting one. A lot of people talking about, oh, Michigan was scared, their reaction when they had to play Alabama. No, bro. It's all
A lot
business.
of people are saying that. A lot of people are saying
It's
that.
all business.
Yeah.
They have to stop Corum. They have to stop. I forgot the other running back. They have some deep ball threats.
So you're still adamant. You're still adamant.
For sure.
Okay.
For sure. Michigan's going to win. Michigan's going to beat Alabama because Alabama is not going to be able to run on them. And I don't think Jalen Milroe, which has progressed, I don't think he's ready to be that accurate. He's not that accurate yet. He's going to need another year to get those intermediate. He doesn't have the confidence. So now if they were playing like, Jalen Hurts or, Tua or even Bryce, I think obviously they can make those intermediate throws. Now it's different, but they can, so it's going to be.
I would feel a lot better. I would feel a lot better if Bryce was in this game.
As a defensive coordinator, I'm like, okay, I know Jalen Milroe's strong points and I know his weaknesses, and they're going to blitz him a lot, and he doesn't throw well on the run. And I think they're going to do a lot of mixed blitzes. And
he holds onto the ball. He holds onto the ball too much. Like you got to know when to throw it away. Like there were so many. There were a few plays in that Georgia game where I'm like, man, you can't take a sack that far back. You really got to know when to throw it away.
You got to get rid of it, and that's him not being a seasoned college quarterback, and that's going to come. Those things are coachable.
Do you have like any early expectations for Washington, Texas?
Washington, Texas is going to be a freaking like you. And Micaiah,
it's going to be fireworks. I told everybody it's going to be fireworks. I literally said that. I literally said that to a few people last Sunday at church. I was like, bro, it's going to be fireworks. It's going to be literal fireworks.
It's going to be Alabama and Texas all over again. They were going back and forth. It's going to start slow. They're going to fill each other out, and then it's going to be it's going to be crazy.
All that.
It's going to be, But I think Washington, just how the season has set up, I think it's going to be Michigan and Washington.
Really?
That's my prediction. How everything's set up, how Washington just finds a way to win, and they'll have the ball last. It's always like this. Washington has the ball last, and they figure it out, and they score, and they win. They do something to win, and the defense at the last minute will step up and make a play. And that's have been Washington since forever, since prior to the playoffs coming along. That's what they've been doing. But they're going to lose to Michigan, but it's going to be Michigan, Washington. For sure.
I'm going to go Michigan, Texas. I'm going to go Michigan, Texas. but I feel like it's just because with Washington, Texas, man, I feel it's going to be that 50-50, like who's got the ball last type of game. And I do think Texas they have looked like really good in the last few weeks. They're soaring. Washington is cute, but I mean, like at the end of the day, Michigan's the best team overall.
Texas You're
You're still not sold on Texas.
No, I'm not. I'm still at Soto, Texas. It's obviously they beat up on. I can't remember what team they beat. That Oklahoma State, wasn't it? They beat up on
Yeah,
Oklahoma State,
yeah,
and then their toughest game was Bama, and then they lost to, I forgot who they lost to. It was maybe like Kansas State or somebody like that. But I think their toughest game was Bama, and then
yeah,
after that, you can see the steady decline down. But
yeah.
they're winning ball games, and then you beat up on the Oklahoma State. Now you're going to go against a offense who's similar, maybe better than Alabama's offense, and they can put points on the board. Your defense is going to get like it's going to be a similar situation
Very
of
similar.
defense. Yeah, defense is getting gas.
Yeah.
Can you go, Ewing? Can you go back and forth with Penix Jr., who's up for the Heisman? Can your defense
It
get
should be
to
the
him?
Heisman. I think he should be the Heisman
Oh no, they
this
let
year.
Jaden in there. It's over with. Jaden's got to win that. Jaden's got to win
Yeah.
that, bro.
He did sneak in.
He snuck in. When they snuck him in, he's over.
I was like, okay, there's an agenda.
61% is either a touchdown or a first down, bro. That's insane stat
That's
line,
bonkers. That is that's bonkers right there, man. That's a crazy stat
bro. If he doesn't win, something's wrong, bro.
line.
Something's wrong if he doesn't win.
And now moving on to our first NFL topic with San Francisco's blowout win versus Philadelphia. 49ers won 42-19. Brock Purdy threw 4 touchdown passes, and Jalen Hurts experienced. I love when this happens. I love when this happens.
No,
because I was going crazy.
Go ahead, bro. I'm gonna get to it. That's who it is.
He experienced an injury later in the game. It was clear to come back. Deebo Samuel just had a monster game, 3 touchdowns. To you overall, like what stood out to you in this game was obviously San Francisco. I mean, we haven't seen a team do this to Philly all season. They were clicking on all cylinders, and it really was one of those like San Francisco said like they knew it wasn't like a must win, but they kind of wanted to win, especially with what happened last year.
Mm-hmm. So Jalen Hurts, this is all his fault, bro. This is all Jalen Hurts' fault. And I say that because he looked like freshman year, like a deer in the headlights.
He did.
There's a lot of plays. He's holding the ball too long. The offensive line was blocking tremendously in the first and second quarter. And then you're a lot of 3 and outs. You're indecisive. You're inaccurate. It's just, he didn't look like he was totally there. And then that makes your defense be on the field too much. And that allows a high power offense in the 49ers who have multiple weapons to capitalize on that. And I think it started with Jalen Hurts. And even before he got hurt, he was just indecisive. It was just like, bro, what? That was a terrible decision. This is not the Jalen Hurts.
It's not like him.
So it was that kind of like set the tone for the game. Oh, Jalen's not doing good. Oh, now we can throw things at him, and he's not adjusting like he normally does, and that's extremely difficult for a defense to fight against a offense who has so many weapons. And I'm not making excuses for him, but this is what I saw when I watched that game. Jalen Hurts single-handedly changed the momentum of that game. Hats off to the 49ers. They played a phenomenal, perfect game. They played a perfect game, something the Eagles have not done. But in certain moments, the Eagles are still in that game. It was just, man, they just couldn't. It just wasn't clicking for Jalen Hurts. And I'm waiting to see what he'll do this week. If he's 100%, obviously.
It's a big
week. So it's
an interesting week.
Yeah, interesting week because now you got to bounce back.
Because like
last week,
not saying it's like Philly can still get that 1 seed in the NFC. If they lose this game against Dallas, it's both have the same record. But I mean, Dallas has a tougher schedule though to end the season because they still got Miami, they still got to play Buffalo. Eagles, I still think can wrap up that 1 seed. Like to you in terms of because San Francisco is looking like the best NFC team right now. But who do you like?
Really?
I think so, man.
No,
I think
bro.
So.
No, bro.
I think it's San Francisco.
Absolutely.
Still Philly?
Not,
still
bro.
Philly?
It's still Philly.
Okay.
Because
that offense for San Francisco is tough.
Bro, they are beatable. You see what happened in the first and second quarter. They didn't start taking off until like the third quarter.
True.
After the half. The defense, Philly defense was sticking with them. Even with the trick plays, they were stopping them. But when you're on the field for extended drives, that's going to happen. Obviously, hats off to them, but I still think the Eagles are the better team and the best team in NFC. 1, because of their record. two because I think they have not because they have better weapons on offense. I mean, I'll put AJ Brown against. I mean, AJ Brown and Debo Samuel is like similar players, and
Yeah, it's very
then Christian
similar.
McCaffrey and Swift have some similar. So it's similarities on offense, but I think the Eagles' defense is better than um than the 49ers. It didn't show obviously because so many variables that goes into that, but I do think they're still the best NFC team. To be honest with you, bro, I can't go against that.
This upcoming weekend, though, there's a lot of good games. Rams, Ravens,
Yeah,
Seahawks, 49ers, Bills, Chiefs, Eagles, Cowboys. Like which one out of those like are you most intrigued by?
Eagles Cowboys because this sets the tone for the NFC
Yes.
East. One, two, the bounce back. I want to see how they adjust. And they just picked up Shaquille Leonard from the Colts, so I want to see how they use him. And it's so many other factors. I want to see how this defense bounce back from getting that many points scored on them when they haven't had that this season. So I think Eagles Cowboys is a better game. And then I'm looking for Dak. Dak played a perfect game. I see him play three perfect games this season.
He's been
Now
incredible
you
this year.
have a chance. Yeah, not incredible. He's been okay. I think he's been above average, to be honest with you. Above
I don't
average.
know, man.
Better than last
I'll
year.
say that. Yeah, better. Way better than last year. But I mean, like
Yes.
you look at what Dak can. To me, like I'm not saying like Dak is he's been perfect. I'm not going to put him in the MVP. Like, but I am saying like each season, especially last season, there was some more hesitation. I think this year, like even offensively, he's even gotten better and there's more confidence. But we do want to see that against the best teams. Like if you can't do it
Yeah,
against Philly and San Francisco, it doesn't matter. So
it
at
really
this
doesn't
point, we,
matter.
we really got to see, man. Like, can you actually beat these types of teams, or it's just like you're just a stats guy?
Yeah, exactly. It's like a Kirk Cousins situation. Kirk Cousins is a
Yeah.
stat stuffer, but they don't win ball games, even before he was hurt. And then Dak Prescott, who has been above average, I think in these big games, he gets rattled. And then I think the offensive coordinator and how they call plays against these teams, they just forget their fundamentals. But I want to see how Dak responds. I want to see if this running game is still going to be as good as it's been for the past 3 weeks, averaging almost 100, averaging 100 yards. So I think it's going to be a good game. I think that's the one I'm looking forward to the most because there's a lot at stake for this game. Obviously, NFC East. How can they continue to go down the road to get the number one seed in the NFC? So it's a lot of things going for that game.
And before we move on, like all of these, like obviously the three teams that are always going to be mentioned in the NFC now: Philly, San Francisco, Dallas. I don't think Philly and San Francisco San Francisco would like to have home field advantage, but Dallas would need it more than those two because I think Philly, San Francisco, they're confident in winning on the road. I think Dallas is the team that's like, if they got to win two back-to-back road games, you're
Yeah,
like, they're not
yeah,
going to do
no, bro.
it. It really feels like Philly, San Francisco, they're like, hey, we would like it the one seed, but if we don't, we're still confident we can win on the
It's
road.
fun. Yeah, that's a perfect point, bro. These teams can win on the road, but Dallas has had trouble winning on the road and winning at home. But I think they're on like a semi-win streak right now.
And now moving on to the Packers win versus Kansas City. Green Bay won 27-19 at home, and Jordan Love approval from Savon.
Oh,
Jordan
for
Love
sure.
threw three touchdown passes, and this is their third straight win. They never trailed. Plus, their defense made two big stops in the last 5.5 minutes. And it's interesting because this game, like, I know we've seen Chiefs struggles. This is more of a takeaway from like, man, I'm seeing Green Bay like really improve. They can make the playoffs. I'm
Oh
judging
yeah,
Kansas City in the January. I'm waiting. Like I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt. We'll see what
yeah.
happens. I'm not panicking about them. But for Green Bay, what are you seeing that's impressing you the most? Because Jordan Love, man, he's really looking like he's coming into his own. That last time he played against Kansas City, he looked
Yeah.
like deer in the headlights, really confused. This game, he looked a lot more seasoned.
Confidence. And I think our offensive line is back. And then we still without Aaron Jones, but I think Matt Flora has been very creative with the play calling and
Yes,
giving him opportunities to put people in the right positions. Like, Wicks, Dobbs, Christian Watson, all these guys are still young, but I think the play calling allows them to get into spaces. Gutsy call. I think it was a third and one or fourth or something. Um,
yes.
Jet sweep to the left. I mean, gutsy call. Nobody really does that, but I think that's the difference. Everybody is being more aggressive. Uh, Jordan Love is being more aggressive in the pocket, having that confidence to throw certain throws, looking like Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre thrown off the ground. So I think that's what he was lacking. Obviously, the offensive line to be able to give him that confidence that he can sit back there and throw, but also putting the ball in places that only his wide receivers can get, and the play calling is aggressive. We're not being conservative. And I think that was the biggest thing. And then defense is playing a lot better. We have a lot of guys hurt. Jair Alexander's still out. We have, our return guy playing quarterback. So it's a lot of, but it's working.
A lot of variables.
A lot of variables, but they're figuring out a way to win. But what I see from Kansas City Chiefs, and I said this so many times, with them not having a number one receiver is making things difficult for them. A lot of drop passes, and it makes me think like Travis Kelce is not a leader. Travis Kelce can't get these young guys together. Travis Kelce can't, because he's
the veteran.
The number one receiver, the veteran. Patrick Mahomes, he's gonna, that was a bad throw. Should have thrown it a little deeper. No, bro. Somebody has to step up and hold these guys accountable. Where's the veteran presence on offense? So they don't have a number one receiver. They need to find one next year, or somebody need to step up. They got a lot of slot and wide guys, but they don't have no X, no real number one wide receiver, and that's the difference. Tyreek Hill was the number one wide receiver for a while. Even Juju was the number one wide receiver a couple years ago. They need that. They need a guy who can throw to. He's going to catch no matter what. It's Travis Kelce, but Travis Kelce getting a double team. He's got a middle linebacker and a safety over top. So somebody has to step up and catch the ball, and they're not doing that for Patrick Mahomes. I think that's the difference I'm seeing from last year.
That's a big difference. That's a big difference.
Big difference.
Guys, remember what I said on December 7th. The Chiefs are going to be fine. They're going to be in the AFC Championship. And I'm just going to say it.
Wow.
I said San Francisco last week, and I look crazy. Just keep listening to me. Keep listening.
No, bro. No. That was a luck, bro. That was luck. Well, until you know, bro. No. That was so luck.
And now moving on to the NBA, the Pacers just beat the Bucks to go to the in-season tournament championship, 128-119. Tyrese Haliburton has looked like has had a really impressive season so far. They're currently 6th in the East. He's averaging 26 points, 10 rebounds, 13 assists with 0 turnovers. And it's interesting because honestly, like if another reason I'm liking this in-season tournament so much, certain teams that I wouldn't see a full games of, I'm being able to see a full 2 games of the Pacers, which I've seen clips of him, but actually seeing him like get to this stage, see what he can do, be that assist guy, be that scorer. I'm really liking what I'm seeing from him. To you, like what has kind of stood out to you about the Pacers, and also what Tyrese Haliburton has been doing?
Man, the man's playing lights out, bro. And get this, they're doing this without having a high percentage at the 3-point line. That's
unheard of.
Unheard of. 21% from the 3-point line as a team. That's terrible, ladies and gentlemen. And they beat the crap out of Milwaukee Bucks, who are still finding who they are.
Yeah,
they find their identity. Yeah. But I think they'll still be fine. They'll make the playoffs. But Haliburton is playing lights out. And once again, he checks boxes as a player, front court, back court, creates his own shot, can finish at the rim. Not as good at 3-point line as I want him to be, but he's okay.
That shot is just so unorthodox. I was like looking at it, I was like, man, that's such a different shot.
It reminds me of Sean. No, it's not worse than Sean Marion. Sean Marion's
oh my goodness. Look painful.
Make it here, bro. Like, how did you make it here? Ugh, the shot's terrible. But now he's playing lights out, and for them to continue to do that with not having a high 3-point percentage as a team, which is a 3-point league. I've watched several games last night where got a rebound, instead of going back up, they dished it out to shoot the 3. I'm flabbergasted at what this league has transitioned to.
The state of the league, man.
The state of the league.
Crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy. Go back up instead of trying to dish it out.
It's right there. It's right there for you.
That's crazy. I was like, wow. Okay.
The people in the analytics room is like, no, don't do it. Go for the 3. Go for the high percentage. And that's what it's all analytics driven. It's really analytics driven. And that's like Daryl Morey back in 2018. He was like, hey, I'm going for the Warriors. We're going to outshoot them. We're going to eventually miss 27 consecutive threes. Who cares? Who cares?
One of the worst stats in
ever,
NBA history, bro.
ever, man. And another thing, the Pelicans, Lakers, they're also going to be playing tonight, and
Yeah,
I'm really intrigued with that game because obviously, like they're looking much improved. Zion is healthier,
yeah,
and we kind of want to see like what he can do, like in big game situations. Obviously, this is an early game in the year, but the tournament is giving like an added boost to the season.
yeah.
What are you kind of looking for in this matchup? And also, LeBron just is not slowing down at all. He just keeps
No,
it up. He says, "I want to give Father Time its first loss," with what he
yeah,
did against the Suns, and
yeah.
even they are improving defensively, fourth in the West.
So I've been watching Zion this year heavily, and when I look at him in certain teams that he's really confident, he plays bully ball to the T, and
Yes.
he's starting to create a bag of moves that I'm really enjoying. And I think that confidence and love for basketball is coming back. Obviously, he's a great defender,
Yeah.
strong, but offensively, that's where I want him to progress. Obviously, the 3-point ball will come eventually, but him finishing at the rim and having different, like I want him to get a fadeaway shot. He doesn't have that in his arsenal yet. He's more so obviously shoot jump shots, mid range. Do
Accurate
this
rim.
little west come to the rim, left hand to the rim. But he's starting to create a bag and he's getting more confidence on the defensive side, and I think it'll come. But with the Lakers, bro, I think I forgot what game I was watching. I forgot what game I was watching. I love that lineup they had. I think it was Braun, it was Reese, it was D'Lo, Braun, Reese, D'Lo. Oh man, it was all small
80.
ball.
Oh,
No, 80 wasn't even in there.
80
It was
wasn't
all
in there.
small ball.
That
Yeah,
is that's
80.
been one of their most effective lineups. That's been what their small ball lineups
Yes.
is one of their most effective lineups.
And I think they had Braun at the 5 or the 4. And I think they were transitioning really well. They were running. Like I was like, that's the lineup. I'm not taking anything from AD, but AD still hasn't shown that obviously this is not his team too, that
Yeah,
he's what happened to the AD with the Pelicans who used to go for like at least 30, 20 or 40, 20 a night.
yeah.
And
LeBron's about
I
to be
just
30.
don't,
LeBron's about to be 39. So, oh, this is still my team. All right, cool. I'll do it.
yeah, I figured it out. I'll do it. They say I don't have the killer instinct, but it's okay.
All right, let's do it.
It's crazy, but I want to see AD. What I'm looking for, because I don't know if AD is going to be on Zion or not. I think that's a decent matchup.
That's a
But
decent
then
matchup.
Brandon Ingram is another one I haven't came to fruition either. I thought when he went to the Pelicans in that trade that his game would like he's similar to
Next
KD.
KD. Next KD. That's what I
Yeah,
always said. He was supposed to be the next KD.
but we don't see that, and I don't know why. As a guy who talks about sports every single week and every single day,
Ever
bro, who analyze these things, I'm not sure why. It's in his repertoire. I don't understand why he hasn't been that guy. And it's not the coaches. So I want to Brandon Ingram AD, I want to see what they bring to this. I hate to say it in tournament.
season
It's just
tournament. I
in
love this.
season
I
tournament.
love this tournament, man. It's bringing juice to the game again.
What juice?
Look, I'm telling you this. The thing about this tournament that we're seeing is, especially LeBron. He was saying, "Man, I want to be the first to win the East." It's bringing that competitive energy earlier in the season. Like in December, we don't see teams like play this hard.
Right.
KD and LeBron were
Right.
going back and forth at it. Even KD said like in season tournament, I wasn't even convinced early on. Now I'm like, okay, I see what they're doing. Like adding that competitive energy earlier in the season, I think is a major factor because some people are saying, hey, there might be injuries, like you're saying, that could happen because you're adding more games. But at the end of the day, though, like we do want to see competitive juices earlier in the year, not people just coasting until because Christmas Day. That's when people are like, okay, like now the games are going to start. Everybody's going to be watching. Let's just start it earlier. Like let's get the
Bro,
NCAA.
they're
Like
not going
why?
to be able to sustain this every single year.
Fair.
Yeah, look at the NFL and what they do with the Pro Bowl, right? They've did everything. They switched the jerseys, they switched the days. They got flag football, they got dodgeball, they got all these things, and people still don't watch this. So I know they're doing this for the ratings and for that creative spark, that competitive spark, but it's not going to be able to be sustainable year after year. So you're giving these fans like yourself, Wellington, a quick fix that you can't continue to give the same excitement of this year. So once this year is up, next year's in season tournament, it's not going to be the same, Wellington. It's not. So enjoy it.
You were a fan of the play-in tournament. You were a fan of the play-in games because like that's a creative thing. They're being just more creative, especially now earlier.
Play it is different. Play it at the tail end of the season. Who gets back in to be able to go to the playoffs is ingenious because now you have teams who unlikely would have went unless they did this. Right. I think that's ingenious. But the difference in that is once in the beginning of the season really doesn't matter. Obviously, you get a pay, like you get incentives, but at the end of the season, I get an opportunity. If I beat this team who I know should be in there, I get into the playoffs. So I think that's the difference. But I'm just saying the sustainability of this quick fix of steroids in this in-season tournament. It's not going to last. I do think it was a good idea, whoever came up with it, for the ratings and to give players that competitive edge. But how would they do this next year? Will they do it the same way, or will they add things? And it creates a whole nother black hole for you to try to figure out as the NBA as your numbers decline.
It's like instituting a March Madness feel into the NBA. Oh, like that's what some people are saying. You can't. Not. And I'm not saying you can ever, because that's different. That's a whole different ball game. But I'm saying like add like a early tournament feel to it, which is way more condensed than March, because March Madness it takes over. It takes over the
for sure
all of sports. Everybody's focused on March Madness when that happens. This one, it's just like you said, incentives, early incentives, but not anything that's going to be like long lasting.
Yeah.
And I'll get into our first album review with Conway the Machine and Conductor Williams, Conductor Machine. In this new project, Conductor brings elite production as usual, and Conway delivered, impressive lyricism. And it's one of those combinations. I feel as though Conway has been so used to Conductor. Obviously, Conductor has had a great Griselda run. Produced 2 Drake songs, so I mean, obviously his popularity has risen in a lot of ways, and I do like the Conductor. We have a problem. Conductor. We have. I love that. I love that tagline.
Play without we wanted to play.
But this was a good, to me, a good 7-song EP. Not perfect. I think some of the features didn't work as well as I may have wanted to. If it was just I was kind of expecting just Conductor and Conway, no features. That's kind of what I was expecting. But I mean, I think some of the features weren't as necessary, but it was a good project overall. What did you kind of think about it and just, the direction of this EP?
Absolutely. Nope. Should have left the features off. Obviously, we get that same Conway, but, in a different light. Obviously, you're going to get the lyricism. The beats are freaking go crazy. Ridiculous. But, yeah, once you get the 5 and 6, you're like, okay.
I was a disappointment.
It was unnecessary. Yeah. The vibe, they threw the vibe off of the song. You don't need it. Maybe they know him. Maybe there's one of their artists. Maybe they're putting them on. Hey, I'm gonna put you on Conway's album or EP or whatever. Blah 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 blah. The verses wasn't even strong. They weren't strong at all. So I was like, definitely could have left that off. I'm like, all right, like I just skipped it. To be honest with you, I went to number 7. Love the Lord, which is a dope song. But I think it was solid. This was solid. I think it would have been better if you leave the features off or get some features that actually go with your style or your voice. I understand switching the vibe up a little bit, but it still has to be in the confines of your sound. It has to be not similar, but it has to accent your sound. I don't think those features accent, those verses accented Conway and Conductor. So I didn't save it. No. I say Believe Me and Love the Lord. I saved those 2.
Yeah, I saved about 3 off of this. The features just it kind of brought it down for me because I know we're gonna try to limit how much we mention them, but with Drake's Scary Hours 3, he only had one feature. Only had one feature. He was like, I'm just bringing in Cole, and everything else I'm gonna do myself, and that was just smart because it's like from a rap EP, we just want to hear Drake for the most part.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Definitely. And now get into our next review, BJ the Chicago Kids Gravy album. And this new project had many features, including Philip Bailey, Andre Day, Coco Jones, and Freddie Gibbs. It was also produced live at Royal Studios in Memphis, Tennessee, where Al Green recorded many hits. And to me, this really had a satisfying feel to it. It stayed consistent from the beginning to the end. Impressive instrumentation and song structure. This is one I wish I would have, listened to earlier because I didn't even know it came out when it came out. and I really enjoyed this project. I love.
Yeah.
It just has a really good feel to it, and I think it's just smart how we put it together. The
Yeah.
features worked on this one. I think they complemented what he was trying to do, and I think everything was placed, just really in a neat fashion. To you, kind of like, what were your initial thoughts on this album and just what he put together?
Yeah, I'm a fan of BJ. I've seen him in concert. He was on the concert with Big Crit. It was on the
Oh
Catalytica
wow,
concert, man. And him live, bro. His voice is it's crazy how much range he has in his voice. But it's been a minute since he dropped, so I was excited. Like
yeah,
obviously this got saved. His voice is beautiful, like you said. Um, the features work. The Robert Glasper smoke break was really dope.
that was
Never
very
Change.
that was very
Yeah,
breaking.
Never Change was good. Forget Your Name. I'm still warming up to Coco Jones. I'm still trying to get in tune with her music, but it's taking longer than I expected to. But I thought Spend the Night wasn't a bad song. But it has some great songs on here. Obviously, he's a he's a concept person because one of his albums was about him back home in Chicago. I forgot what album. I think Anderson .Paak was on it. Was on the single that he dropped, but it was a whole concept song. Even his it's Jeez Louise,
No,
Wellington.
no.
My brain just like stop. His mixtapes. He's a
Yeah,
concept guy, so
through and through.
concepts with the nice voice, and then the production was really dope. And then added that he recorded in one of the legendary studios just adds weight to it. Definitely a re-listenable album. Listening straight through. I didn't skip any. Listen to it twice. Really dope.
Yeah.
One of those vibe tracks.
Absolutely. And now getting to our next review of Kelly Moonstone's I Digress. In her debut album, she comes with sounds of neo soul and R&B. She's got a very laid back, groovy, and kind of jazzy feel to her music. And I heard this artist through like some recommendations on social media. It's a debut project, so I'm gonna give her some leeway. I wasn't the biggest fan of this one, man. I
No.
wasn't the biggest fan because I just to me like it got very repetitive, and I think
Yes.
I don't know if she could like maybe partner with some different producers, maybe more live instrumentation. I do think she has a talented voice and a talented skill set. It's not really being tapped into in all the right places right now, and
Exactly.
this is a starter project, and so I mean there's more she can build on. But what did you kind of think about this debut album overall, and just initial takeaways?
And it has high points. Definitely got repetitive, redundant. Uh, it was. Feel like she obviously this is a debut, but I think her writing could be better. The voice is there. The writing, the production could be better. I think production got maybe she had one producer or so, I don't know what was going on when they produced this or got the beats, the instrumentals, whatever. But I think she could have switched it up. I want to see a concept. I mean, I digress. I mean,
Yeah.
it wasn't really like to the moon, center, take you home, burn your house down, got to shine. Like, where's the concept? Where is the message? Where is it? Like, you obviously you have a beautiful, have a dope voice, but it takes
Yes.
more
Takes more
than
than that.
that to be somebody for us to love this album. It really wasn't for me. Like, it has potential. Excuse me. It definitely has potential, but I think she needs to tap into maybe getting other writers and coming together. I don't know if she wrote it herself, but that and then maybe come up with some different concept. I digress could have been so much like you could have bring a different vibe and concept to I digress because I digress can you be talking about anything. So you
Oh
could
yeah.
have been
It's
broad.
loose. Yeah.
Yeah, and then had something that ties into the app. Like it was so many things that she could have done with this to made it better. But obviously, this is your first run at it. Not first run at it because she dropped music before this. I was looking at her catalog, but it had some high points. Could have been 10 times better if you took your time and came up with a concept and different production and stuff.
Definitely. And now I get to our next review with Tyla's Tyla EP. In her debut EP, she includes 3 unheard tracks and a remix of the globally popular "Water" featuring Travis
I'm
Scott.
tired of her.
Um, Really? Already?
I'm tired of that. I'm tired of it. I'm
Man,
tired.
just get to it. Get to
She
did
had an
you,
album coming out, don't it?
I feel as though this was kind of like a build up to a project that she's about to release.
Mm-hmm.
And
14 songs.
14 songs, and I feel as though like man, like the obviously the water song, that's the popular one everybody knows. I like her sound, man. I really do. I feel as though like when an artist has that one global hit, sometimes people can get a little tired of it and they want to see what you have next. But I think these other songs similar, but I think it's gonna work for her. I think she's gonna be.
Wellington, is it because she's beautiful? Because her music sounds exactly the same, bro. Redundant, just like the last lady. What's going on, Wellington?
That is
You been
true. That is true. You think
she
I'm
been
being
pouring the water?
biased? Pour water on me.
Oh, body. Girl, get off the stage. We gotta clean this up later.
Gotta
Surprise.
clean up on
Right.
our.
Surprised she ain't slipped in it yet. All that water she be having on stage. Watch me, man.
You're not a fan. You're not a fan.
I'm not, bro. I'm tired of listening to. I'm tired of hearing it on all social media sites, bro. They bought her out of her last contract, and then she's with I forgot who. So they're trying to get their money back, and they're planning everywhere. I think Payola is involved. That's just me. She's with Fax Records, Sunny Music. Sunny Music bought her last contract out because she's from some
South
place in
Africa.
Africa. South Africa. Thank you so much. And she
I
had
did
a
my
contract.
research. Did my research.
Yeah, and she got bought out, and then they're playing that song everywhere. I don't think people are gonna like this album. That's just me. Wellington, you need to sit in the room and just think about what you just said is gonna work for her. Beautiful or no? Okay, that is a beautiful picture.
Yeah, it's different. It's
Yeah, it's different. But nah, yeah, it was this was redundant. Like on and
was
on
that the
sounded
same
like
thing?
water.
Was that the same issue you kind of had with Tim's? Like you kind of felt as though, man, like Tim's is getting a little redundant. Are
No,
you still kind of no, not
no.
okay?
Tim can write.
Yes.
She's a good writer. And then I think her music, her production makes her not become redundant. Cause all like even her like the two EPs that she has out, like even the last song, Me and You or something like that, it didn't sound
Only me
like
and you.
obviously you have that same um dance hall type whatever, but I think the production was different. And then obviously what she's saying, her pen is different. Like with these songs with Tyla, is I'm not hearing a pen. I'm hearing just
Vibes.
vibes, and she's a plant. They
A lot of
took the
people, a lot of
song.
people, yeah, a lot of people think she's an industry plant,
She's a
and
definitely interesting plant. She doesn't have a range. She can't really sing. Let her do a song like SZA.
oh
how
no,
how
no,
Caesar changed up. Let her do a song like Summer Walker. Let her do like she's
she can't
definitely
match that.
industry playing. She can't match that. She can't match that at all. So I this why I'm like, bro, Wellington, you really okay? I'm gonna let you live, brother. I'm gonna let you live. I know
Hey, Savon's willing to call me out when I'm wrong. Savon's willing to call me out when I'm wrong. I
you the
appreciate it.
same
Yeah, I will too. That's what makes us a great podcast.
way. He did say the 49 was gonna beat you.
Yep.
I didn't want to believe it.
But a year later, though, man, SOS is still such a. I'm telling you, SOS is still. I'm still listening to it like it just came out.
Oh
My
my
goodness, man.
goodness,
Didn't
bro.
disappoint. Didn't disappoint at all.
The wait was
That wait was worth it. Completely worth it.
man. I still listen to
Love
that.
language,
Yes,
blind,
bro.
snooze, gone girl.
It was the song that she switched up the whole vibe of the album. I can't remember the song, but her voice, how it was like punk rock type vibes. I can't remember the song, but bro, she was singing her butt off, bro. And I'm like, yes, that's how you switch it up, and then you go right back into what everybody loves and what you're really, really good at. That you showed your versatility. That if I really wanted to sing like this, I
Oh,
could.
nobody gets me.
Nobody gets me. It was like
And
three songs back to
F2F.
back.
Yeah, F2F.
Yes. Yeah.
That was
And
like
then
that
she went back.
MTV punk rock side five. Yeah, that was dope.
Yes.
Showed her
Tyler
versatility.
can't do that.
Definitely not. Now I see your point. Now I see your point. Now I get it. Now I get it. When you mentioned that,
Let me
we compare that
say.
to a great album like SOS. The, but my question is this:
Yeah.
SOS or Control? Are you still taking control over SOS?
Yes,
So
Control.
taking it. Okay.
Control is just more concise
Yeah,
of songs, and I think it just really started who she was.
it did. It was a
Obviously, we
great
got
starter.
her, yeah, great starter, but we got her a lot of features. I think I've heard her first on Drums, I'll Take Care of You,
Hmm.
that track. And then when she was on Wale's Boom 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 Boom, when she saw on the cover of I Don't Want to Be Just Friends, like on his album About Nothing,
Yeah.
that's who I found out who SZA was for both of those tracks. I'm like, who is this girl singing? So for her to have that and then doesn't drop anything after that album and it still stand the test of time.
Yeah, man.
And then like, yeah, bro,
Just
it's
think
that
about how SOS
Control.
is gonna age. A year later, we're still talking about SOS. Like she
SOS
has
is
great, long-standing music, man. Like her music really ages well.
I think she's the only female artist who hasn't dropped consistently that can do this. You look at all the other
That's the
female
case.
artists, Beyonce dropped so much when she was really active. She's not really active, but there's
Her
no other
hasn't
female.
dropped. Her hasn't dropped since 2021.
Yeah. But hers dropped so much music prior to that, and she was on
Yeah, she
so
can do
many
that.
features, right? So with SZA, she'd only dropped 2 albums, and she was on like maybe 3, 4 features in that time. She was
Right.
quiet. So, and then her music is still like growing numbers. Don't get me wrong, hers is an amazing artist, but I think when it comes to sales, I think SZA has
Yeah,
surpassed
she's
her,
got
and
that.
she's only dropped
Two
two
albums.
albums. And her features a lot. She does a lot of stuff.
And I'll get to our last review with Beyonce's My House, in her new single after the release of the Renaissance film. It's co-produced by Beyonce and The Dream. It's got a strong Houston feel to it, and it's a continuation of what Renaissance was. And I feel
Yeah.
as though, man, like I don't know, man, like Beyonce, she just knows what songs to release at what time. And this song, I think it's one of those that people are gonna like a lot. It's a single song. I think Beyonce is like one of those artists who knows how to drop singles.
Excuse me.
I've never heard a Beyonce song that was just released singularly and think, oh, that's not a single song, that's an album song. I'm like, Beyonce is too smart of an artist, and her team
Yeah.
is like, hey, you are going to drop single songs. You're only going to drop hits. You're not going to drop songs that are in the middle of an album. Like, you know what she's going to do. And I feel as though, like, this was a really, really a good song, well produced. Obviously, when you have the
Yeah.
dream, it's going to be top tier. What were kind of your initial takeaways on this track?
Definitely a single song. Obviously, it's in her wheelhouse. She's what she's used to in her comfort zone. A lot of beat drops, a lot of craziness. I think what she does, and I think now in her later in her career, when she drops music, she makes sure it's a song that will translate to
Yes.
being live.
This is a live song. This is a live
Yes.
song.
She's gonna perform the crap out this song in about 6 months, ladies and
Yeah,
gentlemen.
she
And
gearing up.
yeah, she's gearing up. Like that's I think now she's so business minded, even when she drops music, because some of the music back in the day, like it wasn't really like, oh, I'm waiting for her to do this live.
Yeah,
Like when she started, then a minute, then better attention, please, bro. I've seen videos of that song of her performing that song. It is so much bass, and she be like her
killing
songs
it.
moving forward, bro. She's one of the best female performers. I'm gonna take you outside, brother. This is one of the best female performers ever. So this song, I mean, it was dope. I probably won't, it didn't save, but I do think it was in her wheelhouse, and I thought it was really dope that she's creating songs that would translate to her being live, and she's gonna kill it.
You
That's
understood
that's
what she was
Beyonce.
doing. You
Yeah,
understood
for
what she
sure.
was
As
doing
soon
to
as it
release that.
came on, I heard the little laugh or whatever. I was like, oh, she does that in concert all the time. She was like, I'm just
Yeah.
gonna laugh to start off Dream. And then go into crazy. It beats crazy, bro.
So
Beats
good.
insane.
Nicki Minaj is dropping Pink Friday 2 tonight, and I know you're not. I actually think she might be coming with something with this album, man. I
Oh,
actually think so. I feel as
she's
though with
needs
her
to
with her
retire.
with her she needs to retire. I feel as though with her, it was supposed to come out in November. She pushes it back a month later. There's got to be a reasoning for it. There's going to be a lot of high level features.
I'm
Is
coming,
there
bro.
anything Nicki can do to impress you, or is it just like, is it a rap, man? Is it?
Her expiration date was already over for me. I used to be a huge
Yeah,
Nicki Minaj family, bro. Nicki Minaj family. Nicki
the
Minaj.
barbs, the barbs. It's
Nicki
part of the
Minaj fan, bro. Like the Pink album, bro. I used to play that.
daily.
Pills and Potion, bro. I used to play that heavy, boy. Like I thought Nicki rap was so crazy. She was so versatile. She was so
Yeah,
creative. But her voice, after a while, and her style of music, it was just expiration date for me. And that's with a lot of artists. I don't listen to a bunch of artists these days. Like J. Cole was one of them. I just started listening back to J. Cole again. Like
yeah.
I listened to KOD and I
Kind of
listened to
resurrected himself with these
Resurrected. Like it's a
recently.
lot of artists I don't listen to anymore. Like Wale, I had to listen to him because we was reviewing. I haven't listened to Wale in a minute. So there's a lot of expiration dates on music that you have to go re-listen, and I won't do it for Nicki.
Boz, Boz is dropping an album next Friday.
Yes, and they
That's
say
the
J.
one.
Cole is on 3 of the tracks.
Yes, that's what
So
I'm
I'm
looking forward
excited.
to. That's what I'm
If they
looking
don't
forward
give us
to.
a vibe like Night
I
Job,
need
or even like
yes,
what's the other song?
tribe,
Try,
tribe.
and it's a third one when they was on stop playing with
And with
me.
you see the
That
drop
song
top.
with
Yeah,
not
I
Young
know what song.
Tecca.
I know what song you're talking about. Lil
Yes.
TJ.
Let's yes, a song like that. They gotta give us a Night Job too, bro. Because
I
that
can't wait
beat,
for that album.
yeah, that's gonna be crazy.
Definitely. We're gonna take a quick break and be right back with our ATL review.
Let me go take this.